All right, Teeka, I want to do a little bit of a flashback to old days at some point and talk about you recommending to buy ETH at $7. I also want to get your take on some of these new protocols that are out there. But before we do that, you mentioned something interesting about banks and then also government regulation. I thought we'd just finish this up as we speak. I got a text message from NatWest here, which is National Westminster Bank here in Britain, so people don't know. It's probably one of the top 3 retail banks here. And they said, we're concerned about your money. And in order to protect you, we're not going to allow you to use your credit or debit card on Binance any longer. And I thought, wow, I've been a customer for 20 years and I've never, ever seen them so concerned about my money. When I call them up to ask about the fees they charge every year, both in my business and my personal, they never seem to give me good explanations. They're constantly putting my account on hold because of fraud that doesn't exist to protect themselves. And I got that text message, first time they texted me, Teeka. And I thought to myself, okay, what's going on here? They obviously don't want me in crypto. And then I thought I would ask you, so how are the banks reacting? And then what's your read on how the government's reacting? This infrastructure bill went through. Some people say it was good. Some people say it was bad. Thoughts on regulation, and then I want to go back to the good old days.
Regulation is going to be patchy and ham-fisted. If we look at this infrastructure bill that you're talking about, there was a clause in there that said that anybody that acts as a broker has to provide 1099s, which is a tax reporting form here in the United States. The problem is it didn't give really good guidance as to who is a broker, and it could be broadly interpreted. I think it was written that way specifically. If you look at American securities laws and tax laws, they are very broad. And then that gives the regulatory agency the ability to write interpretive letters about how to interpret it. And, looking at it from the regulator's standpoint, I understand why they do that, because this technology is changing so quickly. They need the ability to have that flexibility. If they say it's only accurate under these very specific circumstances, well, guess what? You got some of the most brilliant people in the world. They'll figure out a way around those circumstances. And now you've got a whole nother area that's completely, unregulated. Now, that's not a popular point of view, but I will tell you right now, if you want to see this sector grow, it needs guardrails and it needs regulation. I don't want somebody taking my pension fund money and banging it in and out of DeFi protocols without some type of regulatory guardrails up. Now, if I make that choice myself, that's my choice, but I don't want some institution running off with my pension fund money in an unregulated market, doing things that I don't know about. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and I've heard this from a bunch of, intelligent people out there. When a lot of the early adopters, the hodlers, the revolutionaries say, stop trying to regulate our market. It's the future, leave it alone. But then people that have been around have said, you know what, let's actually get regulated because this will make it even better. And it's going to happen sooner or later. And it actually might get us adopted faster. It's almost like the parent coming in, and saying, guess what, kids, let's do it the right way and it'll be even better. And that's more the way you see it.
I do. I do see it that way. Now, will they get it wrong? Yes, they'll get it wrong. They'll be ham-fisted. The pendulum will swing more one way and then the other. But the key thing here that we need to focus on is that the government is not incentivized to take a negative approach against crypto because, and I'll tell you where I got that insight. They're looking to raise $28 billion in capital gains taxes from crypto. Well, you don't get any money from a dead goose that lays the golden eggs. And nobody understands that more than a politician in terms of how to bleed us for tax money. So the fact that they see this golden goose can lay $28 billion worth of eggs, well, they're going to protect it. Right? They might be a little bit too constrictive to begin with, and they'll say, well, okay, all right, the money's slowing down. Let's restrict it a little bit. They want the money. It's just follow the economic incentives. Now they've got to have guardrails up. I get it. My call is that you'll probably see Treasury come out with some interpretive guidelines that makes it very clear who is a broker, who isn't a broker. But the other side of this is it's too early to start freaking out about this because it's still got to go through the House, and that could take months. It could get killed in the House. It could get changed. We don't know. My take is whether it gets approved in the House or not, at the end of the day, we'll have interpretive letters to guide us as this industry grows. And if for no other reason than the economic incentive, then the federal government needs the goddamn money.